Okay, so here's my next video. I wanted to record on the Pathfinder project. It's kind of basket case right now. I've got a lot of projects going on it, and I have had for quite some time. Um, in any case, current job that I'm working on right now is this thing had some rust on it. I've owned it since probably, I don't know, at least 6 years. When I got it, it had some rust here on the edge of the fender. And this is a rust hole that I'm repairing right now. It's the same way on the where the subframe mounts to the suspension subframe and then to the actual frame where it welds. It had a gap between the two pieces of metal. You can kind of see the second piece inside of there in the frame, and I guess mud and debris had gotten through some of these little holes that are in the frame along the frame rail, and so I had initially ground all the rust off, and it had some good steel still there, so I left it alone and painted it, but it apparently kept rusting from the inside out. So now I have cut out all the rot. It's pretty big. That went all the way across here, obviously, and there's another plate we put here. So we're just going to work our way across. We've got one more plate to do there. Weld it all together, and just slowly kind of grind and weld, and then eventually I'll paint it. I did the same thing on the other side. It's a lot rougher concept. I think I use two plates like this and just put them boom boom one after another, and they're much more visible. But that we did that one probably a year ago. First time ever welding, so it doesn't look that great, but it did the trick. So we'll have to recheck it anyway, since this side had fallen apart so quickly. And in any case, I've got Iron Man rear suspension springs, the Rancho. So, and originally what I had done was I was just wanting to get bigger tires, so I did as little research as I possibly thought I needed to do, which was way too little. And I bought myself a spacer kit, Rancho rear, I think it was like 2.5 or 2 3/4 inch lift, and then front, I got the pucks for the front to put on top of the coils. And what I learned was initially, after I had gotten my brother to put the rear springs on, he said, "Oh, better get that camber checked. They looked like they were pretty tight, and I couldn't get them to turn. So I knew I had to get it aligned. So I went and bought $1,500 worth of Mickey Thompson tires. Took it up to the local tire shop, and I said, just don't put the tires on until you align it, or at least make sure the camber bolts can turn. And they said, okay. And I waited for 3 hours, wondering why it took so long, watching them beating and banging and use heat. And he ended up melting all my bushings, trying to get the rear suspension to turn. And it was looser than hell by the time he got done. It would drive down the road, all kinds of squirrely, swaying back and forth. Drove terrible. Burnt the tires off in about 3,000 miles. The front tires held up because one camber adjustment was okay in the front, so didn't completely kill them. I mean, they're not worn properly, but they're not dead. This is the replacement set that I bought because I didn't want to do Mickey Thompson's again. I just bought some cheap Amazon tires. They're gonna do the trick, and honestly, and like I said, I should have done some more research. But a lot of little things like that happened, and so I eventually had to do the upper and lower control arms, front and rear, with every suspension piece that was on this truck needing to be replaced. Ball joints, obviously, they came with the control arms, and so everything in the front and everything in the rear was brand new. So it is adjustable now. Take a look. Everything looks pretty good. New camber bolts. Most of it's Nissan parts. And in the front, I did the Rancho lift with the quick lift set. And they're supposed to be like 9-way adjustable RS 9000s, I guess. And that's what the rears are. They were quite expensive, actually. But they're not the best shock in the world. But this thing is the only purpose, really, that I saw at this point, and when I started to try and put bigger tires, was I just wanted to be able to tow a little bit, maybe a boat or a trailer, or a jet ski trailer, or I'd like to take it on like a weekend off-road thing. But long story short, so did all that. Now I find out after about a year of messing with this thing. Oh, not to mention I did wheel spacers, new front and rear disc rotors, pads, three new calipers. They're painted. That's a new one, but it just looks rough because I kind of half-ass painted it. But anyway, I haven't driven it at all since I've done all this work because I haven't been able to get the tires until just now. And again, I'm still working on this. I'm still working on that quarter panel. I need to spray that. I've primed it. I still haven't sprayed it. Got the hood in the garage, which I'm wrapping. I painted the front grille, so I'm going to post a finished product of it pretty soon, hopefully, or at least get some pictures. I'm still doing a bit of fender work on this side, which had some rust. Here's the tires on it on this one. They actually look pretty neat for cheap tires. And then here's the weld we did. It's not the cleanest looking job, but it did the trick. It capped the rust, and we got to cut it out. Looks like it's still pretty strong. So I don't know if we'll have to redo it other than to clean it, make it look a little bit more professionally done. But so now what I did find out is once you lift these things, which I didn't know, they are more or less unalignable unless you do what's called a if you have a Frontier, a Titan swap, or one if you have a Pathfinder or something like that, you do a Armada swap. So basically you're going to take all of this stuff, all this great stuff that I just bought brand new, and not buy it for a Pathfinder, you buy it for Armada. So I kind of wasted my time and money by doing it this way because these are all Pathfinder parts. But all hope is not lost. Apparently I might have to spend a little bit more money, but there are these offset upper control arm bolts. Excuse me, they're not where the bolts go. I should say you replace those up here. They're offset, and they're made by what was it called? Something Pro. In any case, like I said, I haven't looked it up in a while because I haven't had the money to buy them. But they sell an offset kit, so you can basically bump this out. This upper control arm is going to be bumped out, so it will be easier to align the toe and camber. Right now, I don't know if it's going to be alignable. From what I've read with this is the heavy duty Iron Man. I know it doesn't look like Iron Man because it's a black review close. It's green underneath. They started the rust after being on the truck, even though it wasn't driven anywhere. So I just cleaned them up and painted them black because they're kind of stuck out like a sore thumb with those big green goofy springs. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get that offset kit. I'm going to take it, I'm getting it aligned, see how far off it is. And once that's done, hopefully they sell, I think, an offset kit and a double offset kit. So depending on how far out of whack, you can either get like a half, I think it's a half a degree or a full degree of adjustment extra. Usually I was, from what I read, the medium duty Ironmans are, no matter what you do, with the stock setup anyway, once you lift it with those springs, you're going to be at least a half a degree off camber. So it'll cook your tires like hell. So, and this may be up to a whole degree. So we'll see. I'll get it to the alignment shop. Like I said, I just got the tires, so that is the next thing I'm going to do once I put all the parts back on it. Should be in the next week or so. Get it aligned. And if all goes well, at the very least, I don't have to do anything. That's what I'm crossing my fingers. But it looks like at the very least, I'll probably have to do the upper control arm offset kit. So I think it runs about $300 or something, $279 what I priced it for on Amazon. They sell it cheaper. They had a good deal in March, I think 25% off or 10%. They had a sale for those products, but hopefully they'll have another one at some point. But that's the video for right now. I'll post it when she's done.